Alright, I only got a couple minutes to make this video, a few minutes more than that. But anyway, we'll get into one pickup that was an eBay purchase, and the seller gave me 2 bonus cards here, which is always nice. These are 2 Star Trek Aliens cards here, Klingon Antak, and this is Dinesh. And these are 71 and 72. So there are those cards there, and they're not really card protectors, but they slipped in there because the card was in a top loader here. So this is Julia Duffy for the Cheers set here. And if you know anything about Julia Duffy, she was on Bob Newhart's show, so she's a popular autograph, and if you could get it for under $20, you're doing good, which I did. I got it around 16 something, almost 17. So I was happy with that price range there because it's normally a $25 to $35 autograph. And somebody asked me, you know, Cheers going down in price anytime soon. I said some of it, but what's going to happen is all the cheap copies like this one are going to be purchased, and you're going to be left to the people trying to get full price out of it. So $35 is about as cheap as you're going to probably find it eventually. Some of these are going people's forever collections like mine. So that'll be one off the chopping block there. Julia Duffy signed very tiny, or relatively tiny there with all that extra space there. Most of her cards do not have inscriptions, so you won't have to really worry for looking for those. The other thing I wanted to get through in this video here, doing a COMC. One of the things about COMC, you always have to double check between eBay, because I purchased cards on COMC for $5 only to find a copy on eBay for $2, and I was really disgusted with myself. But this is a really ridiculous, crazy hobby. Based on some of the videos, there are people trying to spew all this information, the big ones, even some of the lesser channels, like the 10,000, you know, subscriber range, 10, 11, 12,000 subscriber range. And there's people talking about the card show etiquette and all the shenanigans of the raw versus graded and stuff like that. And this is just really insane here. So, as you know, almost every card that gets graded these days are cards that are direct from pack. You know, they pull out a pack and they throw it in the top, you know, throw it in wherever and send it out to PSA, and that's what happens. But I'll show you a couple examples here. So I'm looking up Caitlin Clark because everybody got their fill of Caitlin Clark. I do not have her card or a rookie card or anything. Numerous examples here. Here's a 2023 Bowman Chrome here in a PSA slab here, and they only want $7.99, you know, best offer or whatever. I actually just buy it now. And so it says view official PSA data on eBay. And I'll show you the back of this card if I can here. That's the best I can do here. And again, without knowing what the rarest example is, what the best example, people say, you know, a Bowman U card is a rookie. Sometimes people say the rookie is the rookie. But these guys already have 3 and 4 cards already before, you know, their Panini card comes out or their Topps card or whatever comes out, you know, eventually. So unfortunately, that's how that is. And that's what happens. So you don't know which one to get. You said, oh, I just want one example. So if you want a Caitlin Clark card, just get one of her, you know, other cards from, like, there's like a series of cards that came out, and those are like $1 or $2. But I really don't want those. You know, you want them in the Iowa uniform, or you want them in the Fever uniform sort of thing. You just want what you want, you know, and you want some of the cards that are sort of popular. But there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of her cards out there. And like on COMC, there was a card that was an example of 60 available. I don't know which one it was, but either that card or one like it. Oh yeah, here it goes. Here's a Bowman University Chrome, Caitlin Clark, $15, and there's 60 of them available. 60 of them, okay? Most of them start at $15 and they go up to $17, so on and so forth. And these are all ungraded cards. But the one card I just showed you was a different version, but it was not even $15, and that's graded. But you know what it was graded here? Actually, that's the wrong one here. This one here was graded a whopping 4, a VGEX 4. You go to COMC and VGEX, you know, VGEX cards are $20, $30 in some cases for one that's not graded that is possibly a 4. You know, this whole grading thing is so ridiculous because everything to me looks virtually mint. But if they're chrome cards, there's always, you know, edging damage, always. But it's microscopic edging damage, and so it's just all pre-consumer damage, not post-consumer damage. You know, somebody might ding it trying to get into a holder or something like that. But that being said, you know, it's just ridiculous how these things go. And this one is now it's currently listed. Then the other one here was sold. This is the one I would have wanted here. This was only $8.99 best offer for a VGEX4, already in a slab here, and again, that's the card I kind of wanted. But this is $15 on COMC, and you could have an easily get a 4 and paying double the comps. But it's crazy that people are already throwing these cards in the trash, because a bulk submission PSA is like 20 bucks, and just a single submission or whatever, non-bulk or whatever, from how many cards you send off that's not, you know, one of the pre-approved people to send, I don't know, and it's $25. So it's only a fraction. So you spend $25, $25, and then find out there's only $8.99 on eBay, and then you would think, oh, somebody got one for $9. Let's see if I can find another one. All the raw copies cost much more than the non-raw copies, because people are dreaming of perfect 10s. And somebody in one of the things, I can't think of his name, Tyler something, not Tyler, I had his video up a minute ago, but the thing is that, that's a Seinfeld clip there, and he said people are just trying to scam people, just saying, hey, this is this card, this card, this card, this grade, this grade, this grade, and it's not graded because they've already looked at their microscope and said, you know what, this is not gradable, I'm going to get it between a 4 and a 7 for this card, so it's just going on the chopping block for 15 or 20 bucks. Otherwise, it's going to get a 4 and it comes $9 plus shipping. Ridiculous, you know. So again, everybody has a fear of missing out on a certain card when you can't get that card for the same price as other people, because people say, oh, you can get this card for X amount of dollars every day and on Sunday on eBay, and then you go directly after their video to look at that, and it's always double or triple. I was like, wait a minute, why does somebody say that they get this Willie Mays card for 25 bucks here, and they said there's other examples out there, and I find none. So, you know, again, you cannot, everything has to be with a grain of salt here, again. And I looked at the other one here on COMC, this one, not this one here, I kind of wanted that copy there, but there's another one here I was looking at that was closer to $8, and it looks like any kind of rookie card of Clark is going to be $8, you know, or more, you know. But I do not want the Bowman, because there's a stated quantity of these here. The Bowman Now cards here, there's 26,000, but there could have been 5 times that amount for the regular Bowman cards here. But I don't know the print run of that one. Maybe somebody at Topps could tell me the print run of this one. Again, that one, the one that sold was not even $9, and this is 20 bucks for that one. And 13, 15, 18, 12, 25. That one's for Bowman University Best here. I was looking at that one too, but again, the ones that are cheaper ones might have a glaring little dent or ding in it, just, you know, factory damage. It's, you know, these cards are just so brand new out the line. What are you to do? What are you going to do? You have to be there essentially at the right card show, the right eBay selling, the right, you know, COMC selling at the time to get the price that you want. If you see something for $8, you think they all should be $8, and then everybody's asking $15, and that's not a big deal for those people who buy and sell cards all the time and they can get another card back. But $15 for me plus shipping is $20, and that's very expensive. And that's what I essentially did for this one here. This one's the $16 range for that card there, and it killed me to do it. But again, I didn't know what the auction was going to end up at. I put it at the full-blown retail just to see how it goes. Again, that's what people do. They look at the comps on eBay, said, okay, this is a $20 card. 9 times out of 10, it's going to go cheaper than the comps. So you do all that homework to save like $1.50 total, you know, just, you know, or nothing. Sometimes it goes actually more than that. I was afraid somebody would bid, you know, $22 or whatever. Then I would have to go buy a buy it now one, which are not a ton because they sell pretty quickly. If you're not a Caitlin Clark fan, you don't have a big problem there. You know, just again, 22, 23, and some of these were delayed due to all the other stuff that was going on, and so they're a little later than they think they are. I don't know. There'll be more Caitlin Clark cards, and if she happens to have a bad season, then all these cards will be $5. But I want to get things when people are still relevant. You know, I'm tired of getting cards that are not relevant. 99% of my collection are people that are not relevant. You know, X-Files cards from a few years ago, and Julia Duffy eventually will become not relevant, but it'll still be a $30 card because all the cheap ones will be gone. So I did 10 minutes, and I think that's what I'm going to do it, and I'm going to finish off my lunch because I'm having a really good time. Had a really good day, had a fun morning, got some good stuff done, and it was really productive. One of my friends didn't show up. You know, unfortunately, this was all business related, and he got sidetracked from work or something like that, and we couldn't meet up with him. It's unfortunate, but I'll give him all the data on Saturday, and that's today's video. Not much in the mailbox, nothing even coming close, but I'm working on my COMC. That's why I'm basically doing these two things here, checking back and forth on COMC, because I have put some dollars in and I'll retrieve my abandoned order. So hope you enjoy that, and thank you for watching.